Tom Dwan, often known by his poker nickname durrrr, is one of the most captivating and best players of poker, who's known for his unbeatable poker skills and intangible mind reading. This unique combination has given Dwan an upper hand over his opponents, and that is why we're here today to show you 10 of his most insane poker hands in history. 1. Tom Dwan vs Wesley. The summer of 2023 was not just about the World Series of Poker. Because on Hustler Casino Live, Tom Dwan was presented with a critical decision on the river in one of the most thrilling hands ever seen on a live stream. Tom Dwan, sipping on a bottle of water, was more like Tom Dumbfounded when his opponent, Wesley, shoved all in with only ace-king on an 8-high paired board. There were no flush draws, but Tom only had pocket queens. With a courteous Doug Polk sitting in quiet between the two opponents in the pot, Dwan worked it out. And with Wesley head down on the table after bluffing all 3 streets, the legend durrrr made a crying call. And guess what? He won the largest pot in televised poker history. 2. Tom Dwan vs Phil Ivey. You think the previous pot was insane? Well, hear me out on this one. Phil Ivey and Tom Dwan set a record for the highest pot in televised poker at the time. Ivey was dealt 2 diamonds and an ace of spades, while Dwan was dealt 6 and 7 of hearts. After the flop, they both have a flush and they just need a 4. Ivey bet $35,000 and Dwan called. Unfortunately for Ivey, despite holding a straight when a 4 was dealt, his hand could not compete with his opponent's. However, he had no means of knowing. So, after wagering an additional insane $90,000, Dwan raised a staggering $232,600. Ivey failed to resist the urge and went all in, resulting in an unbelievable $1,108,500 pot. Ivey couldn't believe his luck when Dwan displayed his hand. Dwan's high-value cards outperformed his lower-value straight. 3. Tom Dwan vs Patrick Antonius. You won't believe what happened in this one. Dwan's durrrr challenge against Patrick Antonius included one of the most spectacular hands in online poker history. Dwan had a 7 and 6 of diamonds to Antonius ace and king of clubs. The flop was 4, 5, 10 with 2 clubs, which gave Dwan an open-ended straight draw. The turn revealed the 8 of clubs, finishing Dwan straight, but also giving Antonius the nut flush draw. The river was a blank, so all the chips went in. Dwan straight held, and he won a pot of a massive $500,000. This hand exemplified Dwan's aggressive attitude and willingness to commit significant sums when he felt he had the upper hand. 4. Tom Dwan vs Phil Helmouth. Another one of the craziest pots in poker history. During an episode of Poker After Dark, Dwan made a fantastic call against Phil Helmouth with only queen high. The board ran 8, 5, 3, 3, 9, and after several bets, Dwan called Helmouth's large river bet with queen 10. With an insane $209,000 in the pot, Dwan shoved for a massive $119,000. Helmouth tried to peek into Dwan's soul. Helmouth, holding Jack 10, was mute when Dwan's queen high was effective. This hand demonstrated Dwan's exceptional hand-reading abilities and boldness. It also demonstrated the psychological warfare between the players, with Dwan effectively deducing that Helmouth's aggressive play did not represent a powerful hand. The event became a defining illustration of Dwan's ability to make unexpected but correct decisions under pressure. 5. Tom Dwan vs Peter Eastgate. In a hand versus Peter Eastgate, Dwan demonstrated his ability to manage high-pressure circumstances. Dwan held pocket aces, whereas Eastgate held pocket kings. The flop was king 4-2, giving Eastgate a set of kings. However, Dwan managed to keep the pot under control by solely calling Eastgate's bets. When the river produced an ace, giving Dwan a better set, he extracted the most value, transforming a calm scenario into a big win. This hand is notable not just for the fortuitous river card, but also for Dwan's conservative play, which allowed him to avoid losing a considerable amount of money when he was behind and then capitalize fully when he hit his outs. I'm pretty sure Peter Eastgate didn't see that one coming, but what Tom did in the next one will definitely have your jaws drop to the floor. But before I move on to that, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more poker content. Alright, back to the video now. 6. Tom Dwan vs Eli Alra. This was a massive pot with a full house. In another famous hand from high-stakes poker, Dwan won a large pot with a full flush against Alra. Dwan had pocket fours and the board showed 4, 7, 7, giving him a complete house. Alra, who had 7-8 flop trips. The turn and river provided no assistance to Alra, and Dwan maximized value by playing the hand deceptively, leading Alra to assume he was ahead. This hand exemplifies Dwan's ability to hide the strength of his hand, extracting the most money from his opponents by provoking bluffs or overbets from seemingly powerful but ultimately inferior hands. When Dwan bluffed on the river with only 10 high against Alra's 2 pairs, the pot was worth about $215,000. 7. Tom Dwan vs Dario Mineri. Another epic battle that was seen between Tom Dwan and Dario Mineri. During the European Poker Tour in London, Dwan faced Dario Mineri in a high-profile hand. The board read 8-6-5-4-3, and Mineri went all in on the river. Dwan, with only ace-8, made a fantastic hero call with the top pair, which was sufficient to counter Mineri's failed straight draw. This hand demonstrated Dwan's outstanding ability to understand his opponents and follow his instincts. It also demonstrated the importance of recognizing opponent habits and betting patterns, as Dwan accurately predicted that Mineri was capable of bluffing in that situation. 8. Tom Dwan vs Sammy George. At the 2010 Aussie Millions, Dwan bluffed Sammy George with 10-2 offsuit, similar to Doyle Brunson's famous winning hand. The board read Queen 8-3-9-4, and Dwan, with only 11 high, went all in on the river. After much consideration, George folded his hand, handing Dwan another significant bluff win. This hand displayed Dwan's propensity to use his table image to put his opponents in difficult positions. The hand is notable for Dwan's cool manner and psychological insights, as he recognized that the perceived strength of his betting line would almost certainly force a fold. 9. Tom Dwan vs Phil Helmouth. This was Dwan's another epic battle of poker with Phil. Dwan faced Phil in a thrilling hand during the 2008 National Heads Up Poker Championship. Dwan held a 9-8 offsuit against Helmouth's Pocket Rocket. The flop was 7-6-5, giving Dwan a straight and Helmouth an overpair. Helmouth was drawing dead after putting all of his chips in. This hand not only eliminated Helmouth, but it also marked a turning point in Dwan's career, demonstrating his ability to outdraw and outplay even the most legendary players. This event cemented Dwan's reputation as a player who thrives under pressure and can deliver in clutch situations against the best in the world. 10. Tom Dwan vs Barry Greenstein. But guess what happened in this one? One of Tom Dwan's most memorable hands occurred during the 5th season of High Stakes Poker. Facing Barry Greenstein and Peter Eastgate, Dwan performed a superb bluff with a 9-6 offsuit. The flop revealed Jack 10-2, giving Dwan a gut-shot straight draw. Following extensive wagering, the turn revealed a 3, which did nothing to help Dwan's hand. Despite this, Dwan placed a large stake, convincing Greenstein, who had pocket aces, and Eastgate, who had pocket kings, to fold. This hand exemplified Dwan's fearless attitude and ability to read his opponents. The bluff demonstrated not just his willingness to take huge risks, but also his psychological acuity, as he recognized that his opponents were more concerned with safeguarding their stacks than calling a possible bluff. Without a single doubt, Tom Dwan's poker career includes countless memorable hands that demonstrate his outstanding ability, daring, and strategic brilliance. Whether through spectacular bluffs, heroic calls, or great value bets, Dwan consistently demonstrates why he is regarded as one of the finest in the game. These 10 hands provide an insight into the thinking of a poker genius who has made an indelible impression on the world of high-stakes poker. But his legacy doesn't stop here and continues to inspire and enchant poker fans all across the world, solidifying his status as a true legend of the game. His ability to execute courageous plays and retain cool under great pressure has made him an ever-popular subject of inexhaustible interest in the poker world. Let us know what your thoughts are on this in the comments below. See you in the next one!